Have you ever cut yourself really badly while cutting?
Yeah.
Really? I cut the like top of my finger off once when I was like prepping veggies at a restaurant, but I got one of those like finger condoms.
Yeah.
They're so funny. Guys, we are making a hot dog board. I'm Nia, welcome back to another episode of Recipe Drop. And today, as I just said, we're making a hot dog board. We're gonna be making some fun toppings like a potato salad, pickled onions, quick pickled cucumbers to kind of put on the board. We're also gonna serve it with kimchi, sauerkraut, mustard, a few different types of hot dogs, and a few different types of buns. I feel like this is perfect for 4th of July or just in general, any type of summer cookout. So the first thing I'm gonna do is make the potato salad, and here I have a pound of small little baby potatoes. These are not quite Yukon Gold, but they're a little bit more waxy than like a russet potato, so it's perfect for a potato salad. You don't have to get these small ones, but regardless, just cut them into like small 1-inch pieces. So with these small ones, I'm cutting them into pretty much eighths, like this. It would probably go quicker to cut big potatoes because you can just slice them and then cut them, like cut the slices together. These ones you really have to cut every potato individually or every wedge individually. But I think it's worth it just because I like the shape of these. I like that they're all the same and I think they cook really well. So here I have a pot of boiling salted water and I'm now gonna cook the potatoes for 8 to 10 minutes. It's important here that you don't cook them for too long because overcooked potatoes are gonna get a little bit mushy when you actually start mixing together the potato salad, and we don't want that. Next, I'm gonna move on to the pickled onions, and I'm actually gonna make a big batch or a double batch. So I have 2 onions here. In the recipe, I just call for 1 onion. You can never have too many pickled onions, so I like to make a big batch when I can, and they're really just amazing on everything. I put them on salads, I put them on my avocado toast, I put them on my hot dogs. Why not peel an onion?
You can dice and I'll peel.
Oh, okay. I like that idea. So for these pickled onions, you can cut them however you want, but I'm gonna halve it. No, I'm actually gonna quarter it because I like the pickled onion pieces a little bit smaller. Oops. Especially since they're going on hot dogs, it's nice to have smaller pieces. I almost always cry when I cut onions. I'm holding it pretty well though. Yeah. Shut up. And we're actually gonna pickle them in this Kilner pickling jar, which is really awesome because it has a little elevator lift thing. So it makes it really easy to get whatever you're pickling out of the jar. I'm gonna add all the little onion pieces to our Kilner pickling jar. I've actually never seen this before and it's so smart. It makes it really easy to make sure that you're getting everything out of the bottom. All right, a cup of water and vinegar. When it comes to pickled red onions, I actually prefer to use apple cider vinegar. I think it gives like a little bit of a sweetness and I like the flavor of it. But because I'm using white distilled vinegar in the pickled cucumbers, I wanted to avoid using too many different types of ingredients. So we're using white vinegar for this and it works just as well. 2 tablespoons of sugar and how many is 2 teaspoons? So also if you're making this at home, don't go off of this. Use the recipe that I actually link to because again, this is a double batch and I'm making it in a jar, so I'm using more of everything. Now I'm gonna add a few tablespoons of salt. A few teaspoons, sorry, not tablespoons. How many did I add? I lost count. A decent amount of freshly ground black pepper. Okay, so obviously we're not gonna be using all of these for the hot dog board. We'll have some for the week, for some lunches, whatever. And this is gonna sit until we're ready to assemble the board. All right, just gonna drain the potatoes. I'm not gonna dunk them in ice water because that just feels like too much work. Just rinsing them under cold water is enough. So I'm gonna let the potatoes cool completely before assembling the potato salad. And in the meantime, let's make some quick pickled cucumbers. For this, I'm only gonna use half the cucumber. And for the quick pickles, I'm actually gonna use another Kilner pickling jar. These are my go-tos. I have a few of them at home. I think they're really good for obviously pickles, but I also like to store my nuts in them. I like to store granola in them. I think they're just really aesthetic and I love to have them out on the counter even. I think it's just one of those things that, I don't know, you don't have to keep hidden, which I love. I'm gonna cut it in half lengthwise and then I'm gonna cut them into thin half moons. So yeah, even just 1/2 of a cucumber, we still got a decent amount. Pickled cucumbers or quick pickles are also one of those things that you can throw on salads, you can throw on, oh, like a rice bowl. Very good. Dill and cucumber is just a great pairing. So I'm gonna add in about a tablespoon of freshly chopped dill too. Dill is one of those things that when I smell, it brings me back to so many summery memories, like so much nostalgia and like dill and potato salads and so summery. A tablespoon of white vinegar, a teaspoon of sugar, and a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. And you'll notice that there's a lot less vinegar and a lot less liquid in general in the cucumbers than the onions. And that's because the salt and the vinegar and the sugar is gonna draw all the moisture from the cucumbers. And again, I don't want them to be super liquidy. I just want them to kind of sit here and marinate. And yeah, it's supposed to be just like a really quick, easy pickle. Okay, these are also gonna sit until we are ready to assemble everything. So the next thing we're gonna do is make the chili mayonnaise. This is one of my favorite things. I love a spicy mayo. So basically just have 1/2 cup of mayonnaise and then also 2 teaspoons of sriracha. I like mine with a little bit of a kick. So sometimes I add more. You can also use less if you want. Spicy mayo is so good. Every time I get sushi, I always make sure to ask them for like an extra side of spicy mayo. It's so good. I also like mine a little bit thicker, but if you like yours a little bit thinner, you can thin it out with like a teaspoon of water until you get a drizzleable consistency. All right, this is joining the pickles. Because one type of onion isn't enough for this board, I'm also making some fried onions. So I have my stove frying skillet here preheating with a decent amount of oil, and I'm looking to bring it to around 365 degrees. If you're shallow frying, so this is actually a lot more oil than I call for in the recipe. Oh, 363, perfect. So here I have 1 yellow onion that I halved and then cut into thirds and then thinly sliced. All right, I'm gonna use this little thing. Wait, is that gonna like... Oh, that was such a bad move on my part.
That was close.
All right, don't do that at home. All right, so thanks to Tam, we got cleaned up. I swear I've fried before. I just added too much onion at once, and because there's so much liquid in the onion, it just completely boiled over. So be careful with that. Use a much bigger pot than you think you need. These are now frying for about 4 minutes or so until they're super deep, golden brown and crispy. I'm just stirring them kind of occasionally just to make sure that they cook evenly. If you are doing a shallow fry, which I would recommend, it's actually what I suggest in the recipe. So 1 onion to about a cup of oil. The temperature should be between 350 degrees Fahrenheit to around 360 or 365. And if you're doing a deep fry, which I'm doing here just because I had so much leftover oil, you want the temperature to be around 365 to 375-ish. You can see they're starting to kind of crisp up a little bit. They're not brown quite yet, so I'm gonna give them another minute or two. A lot of different components to this hot dog board, but I promise you it's worth it. All right, so these look pretty good. Just shaking out some of the excess oil. And now I'm just letting them drain on a paper towel. Crispy fried onions are probably one of my favorite toppings on hot dogs. If you go to Sweden and Denmark, it's a really classical like hot dog topping, and that probably is here too, but you can get like the big jars of like the really crispy onion, and it's so good. So moving on to the potato salad again, I also chopped up 1/2 a red onion. That I'm gonna add into the bowl. We've got the cooled potatoes, 2 tablespoons of capers plus a tablespoon of the caper liquid. These are really salty, and I love that the capers give like little bursts of flavor. Now I'm adding 1/2 a cup of creme fraiche. This potato salad doesn't have any mayo in it just because there's already mayo in the sriracha mayo, and I also want to keep the potato salad as simple as possible. There's a lot of salt in the capers and the caper liquid, so I'm only adding 1/2 a teaspoon of kosher salt. And with potato salads, I love them to be really peppery, so I'm gonna add a decent amount of freshly ground black pepper. This is not a necessary step, but since we're already using dill, I'm actually gonna also throw in some dill into the potato salad. Now I'm just mixing everything together. This is a super easy potato salad with very classic flavors, and also really only has like 4 ingredients, so it's super easy and comes together very quickly. So if you're making this in advance, I'd recommend chilling the potato salad for maybe 30 minutes, an hour or something. I'm actually gonna go ahead and assemble the board now. All right, so I got my huge board. It's always better to go bigger than you think because it's gonna take up a lot of space. One tip is to choose your little bowls ahead of time and write little notes in each bowl to like signify what you're gonna put in them. So that's what I did. So here I have kimchi, herbs, mustard. All right, so for this board, I'm using a few different types of hot dogs. These long hot dogs, I have the classic hot dog, and then I also have sausages because sausages, I personally prefer sausages over hot dogs, and I think they're really good on baguette with mustard and sauerkraut. And then for the bun options, I have just classic Wonder Bread hot dog buns. I have baguette, and then also these potato rolls. So if you have a grill, obviously use your grill instead, but I just have this grill pan by Stove. It's really amazing. So I'm just gonna grill these, and while they char, I'm gonna assemble the board. All right, gonna start with the potato salad. I don't think everything's gonna fit in this bowl, but that's okay. You can just store any leftovers in the fridge or just serve it on the side. And here, I'm gonna add all the fried onions. In this bowl, I'm gonna add spicy mayo. In this one, I'm gonna add kimchi. Kimchi is also really good on hot dogs and on sausages. And this little stove coquette gets sauerkraut. So I prefer stone ground mustard, but obviously serve it with whatever mustard that you like. I think stone ground or whole mustard goes really well with sauerkraut and baguette. You know, you could have a little bowl of this kind of mustard, and then you could also have a little bowl of Dijon or classic yellow mustard. And add a decent amount of ketchup. I feel like every hot dog deserves a little ketchup. So I'm also gonna add a few fresh herbs. So I have some fresh parsley, and then I also have some fresh dill. Let's also add some fresh dill onto the potato salad. For some greens. Okay, so for the pickled onions, the color has gotten really bright, and I'm gonna show you how this little elevator works now. So you just grab this, and you lift it up, and the onions were already pretty close to the top just because we haven't taken any out yet, but now they come really right up to the top, and you can just grab them easily and transfer them into your bowl. And as I was saying before, these are pretty nice and decorative, so I'm gonna leave the cucumbers in the jar. So while the hot dogs finish cooking, I am gonna assemble the bread all over the board, and then we're gonna fill them with hot dogs. All right, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna add the sausages into the baguettes. And then we'll kind of just divide them, I don't know, just gonna kind of put them in random buns. The board is completely assembled. I'm gonna walk you through some things that we have. It looks amazing. So we have some kimchi, ketchup, pickled red onions, sauerkraut, quick pickles, fried onions, fresh dill and parsley, a really quick 4-ingredient potato salad, stone ground mustard, and chili mayo. Okay, I'm gonna make my perfect hot dog. I prefer sausage, honestly, and with baguette. All right, I'm gonna go a little mustard. I'm gonna go a little ketchup. No hot dog is complete without ketchup. Some sauerkraut. And I'm also gonna put some cucumbers on there too. I'm gonna load it up. And then fried onions. And then a little herbs, why not? This is my perfect hot dog. Caesar, Kiernan, you wanna come build a hot dog?
Yes!
Elvin, do you want a hot dog?
All right.
I'm excited. Ketchup first because
I agree with that.
It's like the base layer.
I'm not a ketchup guy.
I figured you wouldn't be. Ketchup, mustard, sauerkraut, a little bit of pickle, some fried onions, and then some dill for garnish.
Wow,
Gorgeous.
She's a food stylist.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers. Twins.
Look at that.
Wait, the tater salad is for the dog?
Yeah, it's from sausage, chicken sausage.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, it's for the top two.
The skinny long guy?
I can't remember what they were called. There's a sausage, a regular classic one, and then like a, I don't know, like a different type of just long one.
This is elegant.
Wow.
Looks close to yours.
I already regret the ketchup first.
No, that's
what I did.
Okay,
That's what you're
okay.
supposed to do. Thanks, guys. I was scared.
Thank you for watching. I can't wait to see your hot dog boards if you make them. You can find the recipe linked below in the description. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next video. Bye.